In the days following the operation that ended with the death of Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, known as El Mencho, founding leader of the Jalisco New Generation cartel, a large number of items were discovered that sparked public curiosity. These findings provided context about how the CJNG leader spent his final days, as well as personal details that revealed aspects of his personality and how he carried out part of his operations across much of Mexico, from altars and video games to even a narco payroll that detailed the finances of a large portion of his criminal operation. Today, in this episode of Crater, we present the findings piece by piece from El Mencho's last hideout. As is already widely known, El Mencho was spending his final days in an exclusive countryside area of Tapalpa, Jalisco. More specifically, in the Country Club, a luxurious, gated community of country homes that for years had been promoted as a quiet place, away from noise and surrounded by green areas. Clearly, this is not an inexpensive area. In fact, it was quite common to see people moving around in high-end armored vehicles, a hideout that many described as ideal for a kingpin of this caliber. Oseguera Cervantes had been staying in cabin number 39, a two-story house with stone pathways and wooden finishes. Neighbors reported hearing several loud explosions starting at 7 in the morning, completely shattering the tranquility of Sunday, February 22nd. In the first days after El Mencho was killed, there were still visible remnants of what had been an intense confrontation between several of his personal bodyguards and members of the Mexican army. Upon entering the property, the first thing visible is a gate that appears to have been forced open by the military in order to secure the residence. Inside the house, there are fairly luxurious wooden finishes. At first glance, a kitchen island stands out, covered with a large amount of food, suggesting that this refuge was stocked for several days. Among the products were boxes of milk, sauces, mushrooms, cakes, bread, and other food items. It is also noticeable that the curtains and almost any view toward the outside remain covered. In the refrigerator in the main living area, authorities also found several juices and a variety of food items. As is well known, Oseguera Cervantes was located thanks to the tracking of one of his romantic partner, and at the scene, chocolates and roses were also found. Starlink. In this hideout, it became evident how these organizations are adapting to Elon Musk's cutting-edge technology, as authorities confiscated a full Starlink satellite internet setup that was operating inside the cabin. As previously mentioned, these homes are quite isolated in a rural area where signal reception is poor and remote, clearly making communication difficult. This was evident when several reporters attempted to broadcast live for television networks and struggled with connectivity. This satellite internet allowed them to communicate in a stable manner without relying on traditional mobile signal. Although this is nothing new, it is already widely known that several groups in Mexico have been using this system in areas where signal access is limited. Altars and letters. In what appears to be the main bedroom, where El Mencho is presumed to have slept, one of the findings that went most viral and generated the strongest reaction among civilians was discovered. In this room, there was a small statue of St. Jude Thaddeus and the Virgin of Guadalupe, two of the most venerated figures in Mexican Catholicism. This in itself is quite common. What generated more curiosity were some of the notes placed beside them. One of them was Psalm 91 from the Bible, used to ask for protection, which reads in part, "He will deliver you from the snare of the hunter and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. Though 1,000 fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand, you will not be harmed." This is a fragment of the psalm found in the note. In addition, a letter and the novel of Saint Rita were found, sent by an unknown person who referred to El Mencho as compradito, a colloquial term used to refer to someone close, like a friend or associate. In the letter, this unidentified individual expressed a close relationship with El Mencho, wishing him good health and sending greetings from their family. In other letters, there are mentions of organizing something related to the musical group Los Alegres del Barranco, a group widely known in part for their list of corridos dedicated to the leader of the four-letter cartel. Authorities have also kept them under scrutiny after they projected images of Oseguera Cervantes a year ago at the Telmex Auditorium in Zapopan, Jalisco. El Mencho's video games. In one of the second-floor bedrooms, one of the most unexpected findings was discovered: a large collection of video games for the legendary Xbox 360 console. Among them were Forza Motorsport 4, Forza Horizon, Puss in Boots, and Call of Duty: Modern Warfare. Clearly there are more titles visible, but these are the ones that can be most easily identified. Although there is nothing confirming that the CJNG leader himself played these games, it was undoubtedly an unexpected discovery. It is also believed that at some point a young person may have been staying in the house, as baby shampoo brand Aruru was found in some of the bathroom. Additionally, an abandoned inflatable toy was found downstairs. The freezer. In the freezer located downstairs, what may have been one of El Mencho's most important items was found, and it was not the pieces of meat stored inside. It was something far more essential, a medication known as Tashinal Plus, used in the treatment of chronic illnesses such as kidney failure, a condition that since 2019 has been publicly associated with Oseguera Cervantes. Cabañas Laloma. Approximately 1,500 meters from the country club was Oseguera Cervantes' second security ring, located in a complex of 9 cabins known as Laloma. These cabins had allegedly been financed with money from the criminal structure and had already been identified years ago by the U.S. Treasury Department in an investigation linking Jessica Joanna, alias La Negra, as an active member involved in money laundering operations for her father's organization. These cabins operated as an ordinary tourist destination, with rental prices ranging between 45,000 and 100,000 Mexican pesos, although these figures are estimates. The cabins also served as a hideout for both El Mencho and his gunmen. Several visible marks remain from the intense confrontation with federal forces. 6 of the 9 cabins share items such as religious images and prayer books dedicated to St. Jude Thaddeus. El Mencho's Narco payroll, what many considered the most revealing discovery and something rarely exposed so explicitly to the public, were the various payroll records used by El Mencho to document millions of pesos and dollars reflected in certain municipalities where the cartel maintained presence. These reports, mostly handwritten and some typed on a computer, detail weekly and monthly expenses and profits in Tapalpa and surrounding areas. The payroll sheets were found in one of the cabins that remained under control. They show payments to lookouts, gunmen, commanders, and plaza bosses, ranging from the lowest payment of 2,000 to 8,000 pesos per week. They also detail the organization's profits from the sale of various substances and businesses they had taken control of in the region. In December 2025 alone, records show that in the Tapalpa region, the organization registered profits of 8,781,533 pesos from the sale of various substances, plus 500,000 pesos from the operation of slot machines, a business that in recent years has become one of the main sources of funding for Mexican cartels. That same month, maintaining the operation reportedly cost the group around $73,000, including payments specified to police in these regions, although the documents do not detail to whom specifically. I could stay here for quite some time breaking down expense by expense, as there are multiple spreadsheets that have circulated publicly, even listing various public entities. The sheets also show registered expenses under names such as Hugo Mendoza Gaitan, known as El Sapo, Luis Miguel Pelayo, El Meño, and Francisco Javier Gudiño, alias La Galina, 3 high-ranking CJNG members, considered by various authorities as potential successors to Oseguera Cervantes. These documents have sparked controversy among the public, both because of the entities that appear listed and because many considered the payments, especially for most ranks, to be extremely low, with even the highest barely exceeding $1,500. That is all for this episode. These were most of the items found in this individual's final hideout. I would like to know your opinion on this topic in the comments. Remember, you saw it first on Crater, and I'll see you in the next video.